Go for it.
What up, dude? Strider Wilson. I'm the host of this podcast that's mine. Going to be called History is Dank. History is Dank with Strider Wilson. Dankness from the ground.
Friggin' what up, dude? Welcome back to another ep of History is Dank, dude. I'm your host, frickin' Strider Wilson. What up, dude? Just chilling right now, posting up. We got Aaron on the sticks. What up, Aaron?
What up?
Chilling, dude. Chilling. Just plugging in my frickin' laptop right now, dude. Got the power, dude. Don't want to run out, dude. My frickin' notes, my dank research that I did for today with our frickin' dank topic, which is going to be the history of fantasy football, dude. We're going to be getting into that. Something very near and dear to my heart, dude. Sometimes you got to do, it's good to be unbiased, when looking at the past, dude. You don't want, your opinions to, sway the story in one direction or the other. You want to give, a straight up informational, dank, factual account of what went down, and I'm going to do that with fantasy football, but, it's going to be hard for me not to personalize. So, bear with, my team's struggling right now. I'm on the cusp of getting to the playoffs. It hurts, and I am a 3-time reigning champ in my league with my bros. So, there's still light at the end of the tunnel, but it's fading fast. But first, let's just get into a little personal history. What's going on, dude, in my freaking, I guess, LIFE, dude. And recently, and I'm kind of ashamed to admit this right now, but I went to the freaking ER last week, Aaron. I went to the emergency room.
Oh, no.
And yeah, dude, there's a pandemic going on,
I've heard of it.
Yeah. COVID-19.
I am speaking to you through a mask.
Yeah, you're smart. Good. I only take it down for the aesthetic, dude. I'm not going to let this beautiful focus that you put in right here go to waste, dude, on this jaw line that my freaking mother gave me, dude. This lantern jaw, decision-making jawline, dude, which even though the only decisions I make, I definitely run by my dank GF first because we're a team. And then we go, yeah, let's freaking move on that credenza. Or, oh, I like that rug. It's vintage, but has a, sort of a modern taste to it. That's going to be a great runner in our kitchen. Let's move on that pub. But, dude, I went to the ER. My dank GF took me. Do you want to know why? I mean, right now, like what?
I couldn't want to know more.
I seem pretty healthy, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm good. I had a fucking splinter, dude. I had a motherfucking splinter. I only say those bad words right now to make it sound tougher and worse. Like the doctor came and greeted me, this lovely lady, and she was like, well, what's going on with you here? Like after I waited 4 hours, which they should have probably punished me and made me wait longer because it's the middle of a pandemic and I go to the ER for a friggin' splinter. And
was there no urgent care available?
This was after hours.
Oh.
I picked up a shift moving some for a production, moving gear, dude, just strapping stuff in with ratchets, feeling like a man, using my mitts. And I learned a hard lesson because I didn't have gloves protecting my mitts, and I was working in these old truck beds that have wood.
Oh,
and I went down to pick up a hook of a ratchet, and the splinter, it went into my index finger, under the nail bed, through, and was embedded on the other side.
Oh.
So, and dude, I mean, I tried. My GF loves getting surgical, dude, If I got ingrown hair, she's on it, dude. She's scoping that out. Might as well be a dermatologist. And frickin' this, she tried, dude. We did a hot needle. It's just such a sensitive area, and I'm so soft. I just couldn't handle the pain of the digging. And the doctors were very nice. Cruised into Cedars-Sinai. I asked the nurse when I checked in, has anyone ever come here for a splinter before? And she's like, yep, that happens. They're kind of the worst. Where is it? Like a foot, like a toe, she's like, happens on the feet, and then the fingers, and it's under the bed. And they had to give me a shot of like Zydocaine or whatever, like when you get a freaking cavity straight up into my index finger. They had to like clip off part of the nail, which wouldn't have hurt. I guess we could have done that. But once she did it, dude, she had to dig for like 5 minutes, bro.
Wow.
And the finger had to be numb, dude. I'm telling you right now, I'm sorry.
No,
I know I'm soft.
There's no shame in the local anesthetic. No way.
I needed it, dude. I'm weak, bro. And it makes me think of history, dude. Imagine like going, if you have a toothache in the Wild West, some dude just got to like punch you, or a doctor's like just got to give you some whiskey Then you just got to get your tooth pulled like freaking T. Hank style and freaking Outcast, or not Outcast, it's a dank band, Castaway, dude.
Castaway, yeah.
Should be redo that movie called Outcast, dude, and just put, Andre 3000 on that island and make some sick beats. It'd be a freaking sick watch, dude.
I think if you just at the beginning you just have someone like evil, so it looks like the plane crash is intentional, then yeah, it is Outcast.
Yeah, you're right. That's a great call. It's a fire call. I'm just glad. I just had to get that off I just had to come clean, dude. That's the thing about this podcast, dude. I'm keeping it real.
If I'm being honest, I've had teeth pulled where I had no anesthetic.
What?
Like it didn't take the shots they gave me. So I felt the entirety of the shot. I was a kid. I was like 11. It was right before I got my braces on.
Horrendous.
And then they pulled the eye tooth, and I felt all of that.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah.
That's just that's traumatizing. Do you hate going to the dentist now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, I hate it too. Do you know?
I'm not sure if I have insurance.
No, I have no dental insurance.
I had insurance.
No.
I'm not sure if I still do.
They say, you know what they say? It's like, I mean, depending on what your work is or your situation, medical insurance, health insurance, because bills can be absolutely outrageous, like $1 million if something bad happens, more than that a lot of times. But they're like, a dental bill at its max isn't going to be more than, it's still a lot of money, but like $10K, like maybe $30K worth of something, which is like a ton of money, more than I made last year, I'll tell you that much. But it's like, it's nothing nuts. So you're like, you can get away without dental insurance. But if you get it, it's a good idea, dude. Pro tip for the day, dude. Take that to the bank, dude. There you go, bro. Unless you're fighting, dude, and getting socked all the time, you might not need it that much.
Yeah, it's not terribly expensive. You can get it for like $7 a month.
Yep, doable.
Yeah.
And it's probably a smart move, but I'm not that smart of a guy, dude, unless it comes to fantasy football, because when it comes to fantasy football, I'm making the right moves. Usually I'm drafting value RBs. I'm not going for the top dogs. Don't get me wrong, I had McCaffrey, but I'm in a keeper league, and I drafted him as a rookie very low. And I do an auction draft, okay? 14-man auction draft, $200 budget. We do keepers, dude, so guys can get crazy deals, have excess cash. And I drafted him low and got the ship last year, okay? I had McCaffrey for like $50. It's unheard of, dude, in a 14-man auction league. Unheard of, okay? This year, I tried to get clever, kept Robinson, and, I drafted Taylor, that rookie from Indy. They're doing a committee. That went bust on me. Phillip Lindsay, that Denver offense is just... someone needs to put Drew Lock on a Bronco and have him bucked out of Denver, if you're asking me, dude. And it's pretty rough. But let's get into the history of fantasy football here, dude. Very fun topic. Aaron, do you do... I've probably asked you this before, but let's just recap. Do you do any fantasy sports?
I don't. I've done one season of fantasy football, and I finished... Well, first of all, I named my team CTE.
Okay.
And it was just brand new news.
Relevant.
And I finished dead last.
Yeah, how many people were in the league?
8.
Okay,
so it was 8 team.
See, 8 teams are too stacked. It's like,
yeah,
you get an injury, guys aren't going to trade.
The girl who won it, and I say girl with all the love in the world, but
yes.
It was a lady who won it. She had Peyton Manning his first year in Denver.
Oh yeah,
and the receiver Thomas, I think.
Yeah, Demaryius Thomas. She had that connection.
She had them both.
Yeah, that's a fire connection. Demaryius Thomas had a legit year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like someone auto drafts and wins. No bueno. No good, dude. I don't stand for that, dude. I stand for rotisserie draft, dude, which is something we're going to learn about in a little bit if you haven't already. Also, though, real quick before we do get into fantasy, if you're watching on YouTube right now, just a little vertical integration for you guys here. What up, dude? Friggin' business acumen. What up? Media literacy. What up? Chad and JT, dude. Myself here dropped a friggin' dank new line of vinos, dude. And right now I'm holding in my hand, it's a dank little vino called Strider's Girlfriend. That's what it's called, dude. Strider's GF. To pick a me and my Khaleesi, dude, and some sushi on there, because this would complement a dank sushi dinner, which is something I like getting. And dude, just so dank, we teamed up with Elquist, dude. Freaking fire, made these dank labels, dude. And it's basically a Sauvignon dank is what I would say this is. There's a small dong rosé for you to sip on all day. Because celebrate what you got down there, man. I got a tiny little dink. I got a pinky dink, dude. Splinter-sized cock.
Oh, that's what they pulled out of your finger?
Yeah, that's what got pulled out of my finger, dude. Doctor was like, "Oh my God, it's a little dick. Do you want to keep this or should I just get rid of it?" I was like, "No, I need to hold on to that. I might need that at some point, but I'm gonna need to hold on to that." It's like, how did this? Literally, when she saw my splinter to go back, she goes, "How did this even happen?" That's what she said in a very motherly tone. And I needed to be scolded a little bit. But yeah, dude, fire line of freaking dank vinos here, dude. So pick them up, dude. Let's see here. So I want to focus on not all fantasy sports here with baseball. And there's, people say that fantasy sports are all rooted in baseball in the 80s, and that's how it started. And then it went to football from there. But actually, according to my dank research, despite popular belief, dude, fantasy sports actually got their start in the 1960s with pencil and paper, of course. This is before internet and Al Gore. What up, dude? A few folks from the Oakland Raiders outlined the beginnings of what turned into the modern fantasy football rules. We'll get into those in a little bit. This is in 1960. And, just because it's like a brief history, and I want to just get into a little bit, sometimes it's fun to do this, of what else started in 1960, dude. What was going down, dude? Well, on January 25th, Wilt Chamberlain scored 58 points, dude, the most ever by an NBA rookie, bro. So this is good trivia knowledge, dude. In case you're doing barroom trivia, sipping on a freaking IPA, dude, and trying to impress your first date, dude, by going out probably this isn't your first date. It's like a good third date. Hey, let's hang out with my friends now. Our friends can get to know each other. Go do a little trivia, dude. You want to drop some knowledge, dude? Show out that freaking dank noggin you got sitting on your shoulders. Now Wilt Chamberlain was a rookie in 1960. Dropped 58 points and did it with the freaking Philadelphia Warriors, bro, who are now the Golden State Warriors. Tons of trivia knowledge in there, dude. February 1st, dude, 4 students staged the first civil rights sit-in at Woolworths in Greensboro, North Carolina. For those of you that don't know, sit-ins were was a nonviolent civil disobedience in the name of part of the civil rights movement, and African Americans would sit down in establishments that didn't want to serve them, just peacefully sit there and await service, and then, tragically, sometimes that would end in violence, and sometimes, but the message was received. It opened the eyes to the, freaking epidemic of hatred going on in the South at that time, and something we're still working on today, dude. So, it was a sit-in, dude, act of civil disobedience, dude. So first one, and on February 1st, dude. February 16th, bro, the U.S. nuclear submarine USS Triton set off on a first underwater round world trip. That's nukes underwater circling the globe, dude. Good night, sleep easy. When I wish upon a star, tuck your kid in at night, dude. Good luck, bro. There's freaking just nukes circling. Do you ever think about that when you're going to bed at night, Aaron? Just nukes.
Just
sharks, basically. Submarines are basically sharks with nukes.
All those broken arrows, man.
Big time, yep. Broken arrows. Christian Slater, man. What the energy on that guy. Dude, JT and I rewatched this. Maybe we talked about this. He's just doing a Jack Nicholson impression. Like, if you watch him in that movie, watch Jack Nicholson do any movie he's ever done. Watch, what's the one where he's like, "You make me want to be a better man."
As Good as It Gets.
Watch As Good as It Gets. Maybe do yourself a favor and watch, what's the one, You Can't Handle the Truth?
Few Good Men.
Why can't I? Yeah, I love it. I'm just loving this trivia back and forth between us right now. My dome's just not working quite like it should, dude. Maybe I had a few too many of these Strider's GS before cruising in here, dude.
R.I.P. Alex Trebek.
Dude, seriously, man. Love Trebek. He really was the best at Woody. He's so good, man. I really wish that the only thing that he didn't do is he didn't compete. And I really wished he would have competed on his own.
That would have been interesting, yeah. Did
you ever hear that story about Trebek when he had edibles?
No.
Apparently, like, my brother told me this story where Trebek is a chocolate lover. Who isn't? And but he really likes chocolate, and so he went to this house party and up in the hills, and you're thinking, Trebek at a house party, what's going on here? I kind of like that. This is incongruous, but I love it. And he had some brownies that were out, because the parties that Trebek's used to is probably like, oh, these are great. Someone made brownies, fantastic. Turns out those were some pot brownies, and he housed 3 of them, dude. And he said he woke up 2 days later, dude. It just knocked his ass out, dude. It's hilarious, bro. So funny, dude. I mean, Trebek would be a good dude. Imagine how many uninteresting facts someone's told Trebek. That dude could just, if he was high, he could probably listen to any business pitch from any dude who's also high talking to him, either whatever drug he's on, probably blow, to be honest. And just Trebek would be like, of course. Very interesting. Moving on. Just cruise out of the room. All right, dude. Speaking of house parties, February 29th, first Playboy Club, February 29th, 1960. We're in 1960 here. Featuring bunnies, dude. Opens in Chicago. So that's pretty interesting, dude. Don't tell my GF I said bunnies, dude. Sometimes, dude, I got the propensity to do this, and no one's perfect, dude, but, you know, even my GF, I referred to her when I first saw her. She was beautiful to me, and, you know, this isn't exactly the best thing to say about a lady because, you know, she's more than just her looks. But I'll tell my bros, I'm like, dude, my GF, dude, she's a freaking bunny, dude. Straight up bunny hopping around. Bunny just needs to freaking cruise over here and get smooched by me, dude. Hop over here, dude. Give you some freaking, what a bunny's like, cilantro and carrots. Hilarious, dude. April 1st, first weather satellite launches, the Trios 1. Dude, straight up freaking, we're going to be talking about freaking prognostication and forecasting and fantasy in a bit to come. So, you know, that's a little foreshadowing for you there, dude. Freaking May 9th, U.S. becomes the first country to legalize the birth control pill. Interesting. Didn't know that. May 9th, 1960. You think, you know, these were conservative times. We're still, you know, having debates now with these appointees of the federal court and everything. Is Roe v. Wade going to come back? Are they going to try to overturn that? You know, birth control. People talk about, oh, you know, stop and frisk was huge, or and it's a dank little book called Freakonomics. It kind of gets into like the actual reasons behind things, where it's like, oh, we've all heard that thing of, you know, you play classical music for a baby and that's going to make it smart. But the real reasoning behind it is the parents who are willing to play classical music are also willing to probably, you know, raise the child. It's going to have two parents, a comfortable home, square meals, maybe go to a, you know, private school or a good public school and have like structure. And that's the real reason. Classical music is just one of those factors among all of those way more important factors. So when they would look at like a dip in crime rate following like maybe 1960, so like maybe 10 years or probably 18 years later in 78, even though I hear New York City was bad, but depending what kind of part of the country we're looking in here, a lot of it has to do with, you know, Roe v. Wade being passed and birth control being passed. So, you know, these are just some facts, dude. Sorry for saying that, Mom. It's just the truth, dude. Guess what, dude? Mom, buckle up, because I'm coming at you Thanksgiving dinner, dude. Coming at you with all sort of facts, dude. All right? Pro-life, dude, I'm not even trying to get into it right now, but a lot of people, you know, look, of course I want the baby to be a little chiller and grow up and be a freaking fat little grom who's going to do sick cutbacks on the Newport freaking shore break like I wish I could do, you know? But it's not like if you have choice, people are running around willy-nilly yanking babies out of cooters. Sorry for saying that, but it's staying in. I'm not editing it out. Something to think about. Anyway, dude, keep it on cruising. To Kill a Mockingbird, Harper Lee is first published on July 11th, 1960. Didn't know that. Dank movie, Atticus Finch. Freaking sick, dude. Atticus Finch. Atticus, dude. If your name's Atticus, bro, you were good at lacrosse. That's all I gotta say. July 21st, Sirimavo Bandaranaike becomes the world's first female elected head of government as Prime Minister of Ceylon. Trivia, now known as what country? I'm going to give you a hint. It's an island nation, and it's close to India.
Ceylon, you said?
Ceylon. I'm probably saying that wrong.
Ceylon.
What's the name of the country now? It's an island nation. One of my favorite coworkers, Harold's from there. My freaking
Zanzibar?
Nope.
No.
Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Sri Lanka, dank country, dude. Let's see, dude. August 19th, Soviet Sputnik 5 carries 2 dogs, 2 rats, 40 mice, 1 rabbit, and fruit flies into orbit, dude. First animals to return alive from orbit. Frost-Nixon debates go down in freaking 1960, dude. First, until this theme of first is what I've tried to do in the 60s. So these are the first televised debates, which they say really helped. What's his name?
Kennedy. JFK.
Yeah. Let's see. September 30th, The Flintstones premieres. So does the Andy Griffith Show. Yabba dabba doo. Martin Luther King Jr. arrested in an Atlanta sit-in on October 9th. I don't know if it was probably not the first time he was arrested, but he was doing them, and this was early on, 1960. And Gordie Howe becomes the first NHLer to score 1,000 points. Gordie Howe, dude. Should do an ep on him. A rule had to be enacted for him, much like Wilt Chamberlain, with like the key and stuff. So you couldn't just like, he couldn't camp in there and just dominate everyone. But Gordie Howe, like the bend on the hockey stick was limited to like a certain degree. I don't know what it is, like maybe 19 degrees, because of his freaking dank slap shot, dude. Remember in the Mighty Ducks when that one guy, like the badass kid who wore leather, and then Dean, his counterpart in Mighty Ducks D2, I thought those guys were the coolest. Like when I was a young kid and I saw them, I was like, that's teenagers. That's what I'm going to be like. I'm going to wear like a leather jacket and a chain wallet, and I'm going to have a slap shot, and after it, I'm going to make a sword noise.
Well,
That's what I thought.
The kid who was supposed to be the big, tough kid, Fulton Reed, he grew up to, he's like 5'7".
Yeah, is he also, yeah. Is he the bad kid? No, there's another bad kid in Brink that kind of looks like Fulton Reed.
Well, he's not the bad, I mean, yeah, he's the bad boy.
Well, the bad boy, yeah, he's a good guy.
On the Ducks.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, he's like the sidekick on Daredevil, and he's like 5'8".
Jeez. Wahlberg's probably only right there, but I consider Wahlberg to be badass. It's the thing, dude. Hollywood,
sure,
lift the curtain, you know? I want my badasses to be 6'4", freaking full of muscle, and give him a bite to my sandwich. We come from a land down under. Fire song right there. All right, dude. Now let's get into it. The history of fantasy football. Very near and dear to my heart. So everyone's talking about in the 80s. I'm going to quickly go into fantasy baseball now because I have to address this tangent in order to properly talk about fantasy football. In 1980, a group of journalists developed the rotisserie system for fantasy baseball. Okay, fantasy sports. And fantasy football uses that. And so I think that's where that somewhat of a misconception is coming in, claiming like, oh, the baseball is the root of fantasy. Of all fantasy sports. But no, dude, it's fantasy football, and it makes the most sense for fantasy football, and fantasy football is the most popular, dude. Little stat, dude. 37% of fantasy teams, that's more than 2 times the percentage of any other sport, are football, dude. Okay? It's not a surprise, dude. I mean, football owns a day of the week. Sunday, man. Only thing the NFL competes with is freaking God, dude. That's it. And honestly, brunch reservations. It's a you can take care of brunch in church early if you're on the East Coast. I got to get up real early if I got to get those 10 a.m. games here out on the West Coast. But dude, the concepts of picking players and running a contest based on their year-to-date stats. So this is year-to-date. This is before rotisserie. So it would be like, oh, I'm going to draft these players. I know who's kind of good and who's done what. So you kind of have a knowledge of the history when like the first concepts of fantasy came out, rather than rotisserie, which is just using the live stats, which is what we do now. But it was difficult to do that before the internet. But the genesis of this even goes farther back than what I mentioned. 1960 basically came about in World War II. Right after, everything's after World War II, dude. That's why I freaking love World War II, dude. Still shaping the world we live in today. But it still is rooted in the dude who started fantasy football. This guy, freaking Bill Wickenbach is his name. Wickenbach is a good kid's sports name. It's got a name for a coach's son. Sounds like, Billy Wickenbach melted down on the mound today. His dad had a freaking, wanted to sub him out because his arm was getting tired. Maybe he didn't get enough rest last night or something, but had a meltdown on the mound. Saw that every freaking Saturday on Little League. And Wickenbach also is a name that makes me think of a good place. Like, dude, we're cruising over to freaking Billy Wickenbach's for a sick house party tonight, dude. The Wickenbachs, his parents are out of town, dude. Let's cruise. I mean, come on. I don't care where you're from. Wickenbachs are throwing ragers, dude, all over the globe. So that's just what that name makes me think of. And this businessman, dude, partial owner of the Oakland Raiders, he devised fantasy golf later part of the 50s. And, it's pretty easy to track the stats of golf, and you would just take a group of players, kind of maybe Ryder Cup style, handful of players, you total strokes, and at the end, of the tournament, 4-day tournament, the Masters call it. Whoever had the least of the combining all their players and strokes would get the dub, dude. But golf isn't quite as popular to watch, if you're not like married. Do dudes who aren't married watch golf, Aaron? Aaron, do you watch golf? You're
I
married.
do not.
Yeah, but you're a good golfer.
No, I'm not.
But you play, don't you? I thought you were
No,
solid.
I play like once a year at the most.
What are you shooting? Are you breaking 100?
Probably not.
Dude, I think I just had like an innate respect for you that I was like, Aaron's fucking good at golf, dude.
I have been decent at golf, but it has left me in my lack of practice.
It'll do that. Short game goes first is what they say. Maybe it's just because, you're on the sticks right now and I call my golf clubs my sticks. So I'm like, Aaron's just probably is dank on all sorts of sticks, dude.
I mean,
even with chopsticks.
Yeah, I don't think it's wise to play it during softball season, and softball's pretty year round, so.
It changes your swing.
Yeah. Or I would try to muscle up with the golf club, so.
It's good that your reasoning for not playing as much. A lot of people are just like, oh man, tired, or you don't want to get out there. It's that you're focused in on something else, and that's a fire reason not to do something else. Specialization. That's tight. So, dude, speaking of our bro, Bill Wickenbach, dude, this guy, he's posting up in New York City in a hotel room in 1962. They're on a cross-country trip, dude, all right? Wickenbach, along with some Raiders PR people, dude, Bill Tunnel, dude, it's a great name, and a Oakland Tribune reporter, Scotty Sterling, dude, developed the rules that would eventually be the basis of modern fantasy, dude. So there's just some bros posting up in a hotel room chilling, dude. I think there was like maybe some weather delay or something. They're on this cross-country road trip, and they're like, dude, let's just take this to the next level, dude. And then they developed the rules. Then in 1963, and I'll get into the rules in a little bit, the draft was held at Wickenbach's basement. So basically that's a house party. So I think I was onto something there. And they played for money and bragging rights. Now, my league that I'm in now was mainly bragging rights. We've only recently stepped it up to money. And I'll tell you, I don't even care about the money, dude. When I win, it's that I get to talk smack on the fantasy thread. We got a text message thread. Sure, I'm going to treat my GF to a dank sushi dinner with my winnings, dude. Maybe, pick up like a nice, some succulents, or get a dank new home for a succulent, which is basically a pot that I just put it in a new vessel and let it enjoy itself in there. And so, I do something like that. But it's all about the bragging rights, dude. So I love these guys. I love to see that at its very genesis, what fantasy sports is about now, it was about then. So that's when you got something special. They had a freaking trophy for ineptness, which basically was a last place punishment. A lot of leagues have that.
Oh, that would have been me.
Yeah, you would have been punished. I know somebody who's in a league where, this is gnarly, the last place punishment is you get a tattoo. The other league has to tell you, like, it can't be like on your forehead, but it's like a tattoo somewhere in your body that's no bigger than your palm, so minus your fingers, just the palm of your hand, and the league gets to pick what it is of.
No way.
That's gnarly, right?
That's for life?
Yeah.
For fantasy football?
People are diehard. People are gnarly. Saquon Barkley goes down, dude. You're getting a tattoo of mom on your butt.
No way.
Something like that. That's what I would do. Honestly, I'm a weird guy. Like, every tattoo that's going on your butt. I don't care how hairy your butt is, dude. Getting some ink down there. Let's go. And it's also not a bad spot because it's not like you're pulling out your butt at work, unless you're, working the sex industry, which is chill. People got to get their rocks off, dude. Got to step into the drill factory and enjoy themselves. Got to give it up for these heroes out there with the gift of providing horniness to the rest of us, dude. If I could make anybody horny, I would. I don't really make anyone horny, dude. I make my GF feel love. Small part of that probably has a little bit of horniness, but mainly it's just love, Be tight, dude. If I was able to put on my resume, I'm good at getting people horny. And if I was running a business and I was hiring myself, immediate raise. immediate raise of my dong, and pay salary. So dude, this inaugural league of these bros that invented it, Wickenbach and his bros, from the Raiders and the, you know, Oakland Tribune, freaking, it's called the GOPPPL, the Greater Oakland Professional Pigskin Prognosticators League. I love it. They're already having fun with the name. Ours, the league that I'm in, I think is called the League of Extraordinary Dank Gentlemen, something like that. It's legit. After a horrendous movie called The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which is a great movie on an airplane, but a horrendous movie otherwise. Great movie if like
R.I.P. Sean Connery.
I know. Oh, dude, he was the best. He was the best, dude. Sean Connery. Freaking love Sean Connery, dude. Horrendous movie. If you like are recovering from surgery, watch it. Other than that, you can probably skip it. So after this draft takes place in August in Wickenbach's home in 1963, the league consisted of 8 members made up of administrative affiliates of the AFL, pro football journalists, or individuals who had purchased or sold 10 season tickets to the Raiders for the Raiders' 1963 season. So they're not all best friends. I would like if they were all best friends, but it sounds like they're pretty tight. I'm sure they like limited that list of, you know, season ticket holders. They probably all did know each other anyway. And it makes it sound like, ooh, AFL people in administrative positions and affiliates, it's like, oh, do they have insider info? Because, you know, you got to look out for that in fantasy football. You got to get information any way you can. Information is power. Information is key. It's going to get you that dub. So, but, I mean, there's not really much they could know. Like, they're not making coaches' decisions. They're not, yeah, this guy's a partial owner, but it's not like he's telling, he doesn't have enough power to tell, like, you know, this was back in Al Davis's days. Like, he's not telling Al Davis, yo, go tell him to go, tell the coach to do that, tell Madden to freaking do this and that and put him in. It's like, no, dude, come on. He's still having basically as much of a gamble for him as anyone else. So of this original fantasy football league, the GOPPPLs, each roster consisted of 2 quarterbacks, 4 halfbacks, basically a running back, 2 fullbacks, which is a running back, but this is halfback. This is old school football, dude. Sometimes they get touches. 4 wide receivers / tight ends. It's a lot. 2 kicker / punt returners, 2 kickers, 2 defensive backs, linebackers, and 2 defensive linemen. So they go all out. I mean, basically they're like kind of fielding an entire team. I kind of love it. I do like now the modern era of just doing like a team defense, but this is pretty sick. The 2 quarterback thing I don't really love, but honestly, I could have a lot of fun playing in this format, dude. And picking a defensive player could be a lot of fun, dude. You know, nowadays, like, you know, there's not really a fullback position, halfback, so you'd probably just have to do 4 running backs, aka fullbacks. And then, sorry. Halfback is the running back, fullback is the other way around. You would do four halfbacks. Wide receiver, tight ends is fine. You know, a lot of diminishing returns on tight ends. How
many people were in this league?
8.
I mean, that's a lot of players. And there probably weren't that many teams in 63.
Yeah, because there hasn't been expansion. What is there now, 32? I mean,
they haven't even
28,
combined
maybe less.
The AFL and the NFL yet.
Yeah, you're right. Teams were there in 1963. Let's look it up, dude. Live look up, dude. Let's see, dude. The Giants were good back then, and the Bears. The first Super Bowl was at the Coliseum, I think in like 1960. So I think this might have been 14. Nope. Let's see. Yeah, 14 teams.
Wow, that's a lot of players you got to pull from 14 teams.
Yeah, basically they're drafting like every position over every team. Maybe they did the math of it and figured out like there's 8 of us. It's probably like every single guy, you know? Defensively, you got a lot to work with.
So there's 32 tight ends in 14 teams.
Yeah. I mean, there's backups. That's the thing. You're not going to get the starter. But you know what? It's probably... It says wide receiver / tight end, so I could imagine it's a flex.
Yeah. Which that's not bad.
But I kind of read that incorrectly at first. So then you're fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
You're right.
Fine. Yeah.
Then you're looking good. Otherwise, yeah, that'd be too gnarly. You'd be like, hey, can I get a third string tight end from the Giants? It's like, okay. That sounds kind of fun. If he gets one touch, you're happy.
With my last pick, it's a guy in the practice squad.
Yeah. The kick returning position on this is kind of dumb. Like, I mean, I guess if you get nowadays Cordero Patterson, you're happy. But other than that, it's kind of exciting. But I can see where they just developed special teams out of it. I think that's way smarter. I'd even be really nowadays to get rid of the field goal kicker position in fantasy, to be quite frank. Sometimes that makes or breaks victories, but I'm kind of over that position. The original scoring system rewarded 25 points for a touchdown pass, rush, or reception, 25 for a field goal, way too much, 10 for an extra point or whatever, 200 for a kickoff, punt, or interception that was returned for a touchdown. Okay, that's pretty rare. That's cool. So that's kind of whack scoring. It doesn't get into the defensive scoring here, but that's kind of cool. I like that if it keeps it more modern. I think like the goal of fantasy, at least for when I'm playing, is like if I can make it as close, and I think that's what they try to do here, like having to make forecasting decisions. These are prognosticators of like what a guy's stats are going to be going forward and how it is in real time is the coolest. So making yourself as close to being like a real life GM, but for fantasy, I think is what makes it most enticing, at least for me. And then of course crushing my best friends and hurting their feelings, dude. And just, having ad hoc references, or ad hominem references and hurtful things to say to them willy-nilly, like being like, you have, you don't look cool in shorts, something like that, I would say to them. And that's very hurtful. I would like to look jacked in shorts. In fact, the guy I would say that into my league actually hemmed his board shorts once. I'm not going to say his name because, if anyone found that out, his boss would fire him, wife would leave him. You don't hem board shorts. That's all I'm saying, dude. I don't want to be judgy. I don't want to tell someone how to live their life, but I want to tell them one thing, how not to, and that's you do not hem waterwear. Okay? Ladies, it's a different system. I don't know. But board shorts, I went to summer camp one time, Yosemite Sarah summer camp, dude, which my parents freaking sniped me, dude, and it ended up being a Christian camp, dude. I was having fun, dude, just chilling on the cargo net, banana boating, having a great time, dude, throwing up, dude, eating ice cream tacos because I'm so excited, dude, in the sun, dehydrated as hell. Dude, then I'm chilling just in the cargo net after a great day, dude, sitting in the shade. Then the counselor comes up and he's like, dude, all right, guys, let's talk about Jesus. What, dude? All right, that's chill, but I was going to go hit the half pipe. No, dude, this is sort of what this time's meant for. And that's chill, dude. No knock on Jesus, Raised Catholic, dude. I'm confirmed. Scared of God. I believe in ghosts. And, dude, mom and dad give me a heads up. That's all I'm saying. Bill always comes somehow, dude. No free lunch, bro. You don't get to go tubing without, talking about having a candle in your life or something like that. When you're a kid, you just want to go tubing free, Sick ass camp though. I did go back 2 more summers. It was tight, dude. They didn't lay it on that thick. And they did a freaking dank deconstructed taco casserole that probably made me boke. Would make me boke now, but loved it as a kid. Also got 43 mosquito bites one time and had to go to the nurse because I was afraid of going on the zip line. Just got drilled by mosquitoes, dude. Absolutely drilled by mosquitoes. They love me. I got sweet blood, dude, because I'm a sweetheart. What's up, dude? That one's for my GF, in case she's listening. All right, dude. So now this is coming from a different article here about this draft at Wickenbach's basement, dude. And the rules of drafting were outlined as thus, because the draft for me is my favorite part. I love that this was in Wickenbach's basement. My bros and I, we go out to freaking Utah, dude. My buddy Forsom's got a dank cabin out there, dude. We just eat steak, drink freaking IPAs. We're playing drinking games. We're having a great time. It's just the best, dude. Just, up there in altitude with my bros, just raising stoke through the roof. So Prior to opening the professional football season at the evening dinner meeting, dude, the club owners will draft 20 players from either league, okay? However, no more than 8 imports can be drafted from the NFL. So, yeah, they're using AFL and NFL, Aaron, so it gives them a little bit more. In the event of injury which depletes a position, owner shall apply commissioner for approval to activate a temporary replacement from undrafted players, so you can work the waiver wire there. Looks like the commissioner's got a lot of power here. As for the method of drafting, the first draft cards will be cut for first choice, second for just, so they're just using cards, dude. It's not on the internet. Of course not. Goes on. Looks like you get, it's a snake drafts through. Okay, so it's a snake draft. They're using cards going through for your first, blah, blah, blah. And it snakes back through. I'm a fan of auction now, but snake makes the most sense then. Let's see. And it looks like they did keeper, because you can make cuts and then you can declare what position you want to draft in. So if you keep your first round draft pick, then you do not get a first round draft choice the following season. Smart that they laid that down. Let's see. That's just going over more of the freaking positioning, dude. So this is fire, dude. Then in 1969, dude, and this article I just mentioned comes from this dude called Andy Musalimas, an interview with him. And he's one of the original creators of the GOPPL and what participated in the inaugural draft, dude. And then friggin' word of mouth spreads, dude. In 1969, dude, this guy owns a bar, which is legit, dude, called King's X. And he would do trivia there. And this is in San Francisco. I love it, dude. That's hilarious. And they started the Indoor Football League, the IFL. That's their league, and it's a fun fact. This was started funny enough, in Cleveland. So he was part of the original one. Had a bar, like he would take his. It sounded like he would do the draft or stuff at the bar. People would spread by word of mouth, and then this guy with his bros, who posted up out in Cleveland, started the IFL, and that's in 1980. It's a group of 6 dudes, so teams were just stacked. And they're still in existence today, which is honestly to me like pretty lovely to hear. Now this is a little bit of an older article, so hopefully everyone is still in good health now. But pretty amazing, dude. Those guys playing from 1980 until this article came out in like 2010. Pretty interesting. So you hope they're doing all still doing all right and playing well together. That's a long time, and that's the beauty of fantasy football. That's really what it's all about, is keeping us in touch. You know, I got buddies who have kids now and stuff like that, dude, but we'll be texting. I mean, his kid's cute, but, I don't want you to text me a picture of your kid, eating cereal. No, dude, I want you to text me a deal to make a trade, because I love making deals, okay? Then I'll ask you how your kid is. It's organic. It's nice. People need that. People need these icebreakers. People need something to talk about. Sports, dude, without sports society, I don't think it works, man. We just had no sports during the pandemic. Look how chill that was. Psych. So these guys freaking have this league, the IFL. It's the longest running, dude. And this league, one of the dudes in it, I think he was in that league as well. But in 1983, the first East Coast Rotisserie Sports Fantasy Football League was formed. So this is a different league, sorry. And that's an important development, because it started, usually they were using like postseason stats and they would update it every year. And this guy, if he had a great year, then you would go through the season, and it was like everything at the end of the season, winners were declared based on it, rather than like week to week. But then this rotisserie system is developed, and it's developed for baseball. So like we mentioned earlier, this magazine writer / editor, Daniel Okrent, is credited with inventing it and naming in the name coming from a New York City restaurant, La Rotisserie Française, where he and some friends used to meet and play. So that's where the sort of the etymology of that name is. And the invention was that owners in a rotisserie league would draft teams from the list of active Major League Baseball players and would follow their statistics during the ongoing season to compile their scores. In other words, rather than running realistic simulations using statistics for seasons whose outcomes were already known, the owner would have to make similar predictions about players' health and expected performance. So then that, of course, went over to football, And, you know, obviously we know health is a big issue. So rotisserie is what we're using nowadays. We've known nothing different, and it's the best way to go about it. I mean, using like past numbers and averages and somewhat trying to predict and adjusting an average after another season is, you got to love the heart that these dudes had, you know, Wickenbach and his bros, but so much better when rotisserie comes about, and truly genius. And so that system was developed for baseball and integrated to fantasy football, and in my opinion thrives best in fantasy football. The weekly stats, the amount of work you have to put in for your lineup, is just beautiful. And in fact, in the early days of this now baseball league we're talking about, they would call ESPN broadcasters to get like live stats, and these guys kind of all worked in the sports industry and had connections. In fact, Ernie Johnson, dude, was working at WSB TV in Atlanta, and he's one of the dudes who does TNT basketball with Shaq and Charles. They would call him for statistical updates on Sundays and before games, before box scores, and before the Monday newspapers came out. Like, that's how into it they were. Like, give me the stats now, even though they could have waited till Monday. Just love that friggin' eagerness, dude. Getting the as live as possible and as real time as possible stats that they could. So we're going to fast forward a little bit more. So basically it's like, at this point, the original founders, Wickenbach and his bros, 1960, first draft 63. Then it goes to this IFL bros in 69, you know, and of course there's probably other leagues we don't know about throughout the nation because other guys probably were at that X Factor bar and heard of it and everything and spread it to their friends. But the guys in the IFL had this connection, Ernie Johnson and such and otherwise, to really update their league and sort of spread word to, you know, maybe people in positions that hold more sway, and would be able to get word out, you know, whether they wanted to advertise it or like, I mean, you look at Wickenbach, he's got a quote that looks back and he's like, man, I should have tried to monetize the thing or copyright it. He'd be a freaking billionaire, and he's right. But he was doing it for love and passion, man. And I freaking love that. But in 1985, this place, the Grandstand Sports Service, launched the first nationally available fantasy football league online through Q-Link. Later, America Online. I think we all heard of that, dude. A little instant messenger, dude. Just hoping freaking, you know, Lil Blondie 581 or something was going to come on after. Just, dude, you know, when I was on AIM, dude, this is before my GF days, I'd see a girl I had a crush on, you know, brown-eyed girl, 38442, whatever, you know. I grew up in SoCal. Everyone was a eye color or a hair color plus the beach, then a number, okay? For me, you know, I wish I was paintballing ladies like JT, but I had the worst, I had one of the worst screen names of all time, and it was Blue Balls Gone Pink. And that I don't even know. Honestly, if you ask me what that meant, it probably, literally, that is such, if any parent saw that, like, basically it was my truth. Like, just a horny guy, so horny, blue balls. And then I don't even know what Gone Pink is. I honestly don't know. Don't know if it's a reference to maybe swelling subsiding or like balls are pink on the inside. I made it up with my buddy Jeff. He laughed and I was like, okay, that must work. I used it all through high school. I'd get made fun of. People would ask me, what is that? And then I'd be contrarian and I kept it. I kept it through until college. Then, you know, Facebook. Anyway, dude, horrendous screen name. Should have been something chill like, you know, Deal Cutter, or like Spike runs Power Eye, something sick like that, or like I can pin my dad, and then just say what up to people. But all I'm saying is, dude, I'd put like a, you know, a quote from a conversation that I had with like a girl but wouldn't put her screen name in my away info, you know, or like a cool song lyric, like by the Arctic Monkeys. Something just so lame to look back on. But dude, this is development. You got to be lame for a little bit, dude. You got to look back on yourself.
Nobody's cool.
Yeah, no, dude, so true. No one's cool, man.
No one's cool.
No one's cool, dude. Chad was probably cool though. He's probably tan, dude, just shredding though.
That's true.
Sick flow. But so true, dude. Like, if if you're not looking back on yourself every 5 years and being like, and just making this noise, to something you did, then you're not doing something right. You're not progressing as you should be. So yeah, dude, this freaking Q-Link, America Online, dude, in 87, bro, they launch it, and then there's a magazine article that comes out dedicated to fantasy football. So word is spreading. First national fantasy football competition, Pigskin Playoff, developed by Lee Mark, Robert Barbier. Too many names, dude. Okay, Lee Mark is another dude. Thanks, dude. I skipped over a comma there. Sorry, guys. Was launched in 1990, and then it's in a number of newspapers, so you can like follow along stats and stuff. It's in, Detroit Free Press, LA Times, dude, Miami Herald, and freaking players choose their teams like they're playing through the newspaper. So people would call in toll-free numbers, entering 4-digit codes for each of their selections, and they'd play. And all of it is basically fueled by gambling. That's part of what really, really makes it a hit. So it started with passion and love and like a little gambling. But as we mentioned, like there was a league. They had a trophy for punishment if you came in last. Like they put money on the line. You got to have a little bit of that. But what really drives it is, I think it was a way for like bookies and everybody to get around like gambling laws, because it was technically not like sports gambling, like laying down parlays on teams or betting against the spread or Vegas stuff. And it was like sort of the Wild West a little bit for it. So that really helped drum it up. And I mean, nowadays you look at like a DraftKings or a Fantasy Pros, like that's when when your season goes to crap, like week 3, that's when you start considering like, all right, I'm getting the DraftKings account. Everyone probably closes it down after every season. And then once your season goes to crap, or like Saquon gets hurt or McCaffrey goes down for you, you're like, yep, I'm doing weekly pick'ems. I'm playing randoms online. It's what I'm doing. Got to scratch the itch. It's true, man. I mean, gambling it can be very addictive. I freaking love laying down parlays, but the Q team's got my funds running low, which has been nice. So I'm not playing with my purse that I usually do, but I've luckily been able to have a handle on that. But freaking, it's gnarly, and that's a big. It would be remiss of me to say fantasy football is only a huge success because of the passion and the dankness and the bringing the friends together. A big part of it is the dough, baby. But the beautiful part of it is the camaraderie and the dankness, dude. Even if your coworkers are a bunch of schmoles, join a fantasy league. You guys can hang out for a little bit and have at least something to talk about at the water cooler or the coffee station. If you're at a startup, probably a freaking cold brew or a kombucha tap station, something like that. Yeah, dude. So this thing's spreading like wildfire, bro. In 1997, CBS launches the first online fantasy football competition. They're like one of the first major platforms. I play on ESPN, although I prefer the Yahoo as my platform now. And then there's the stats right now, which I'm sure are more in 2020, but as of 2017, 60 million people played fantasy sports. And like we said earlier, like 37% of that's football. And I would say, and that was a dated article as well, I'd be like, it's probably even more now. And I mean, that's basically the quick rundown of the history of fantasy football, dude. Little rotisserie, freaking Bill Wickenbach and his bros having house parties and drafts, starting out with cards, moves over to the internet. Gambling helps it. They push stuff on social media, and obviously there's tons of marketing. People are playing in, freaking dialing numbers on newspapers, trying to get their fix in, dude. And it's just great, dude. All over the country. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, dude. I'm fired up on it. Now let's just take a few cues and head out of here, dude. Strider, dude, my question, historically speaking, what is the one thing that year 2020 will be remembered for when we look back on these days? Then more specifically, what is the one thing that you can personally take away from 2020 that makes you feel good about the future? I mean, it's got to be COVID-19, even though it's 19 for when it started. But yeah, it's going to be this pandemic. It's got to be. And then something personally I can take away from 2020 that makes me feel good about the future is just, honestly, dude, working out at home. I always had a gym membership. Don't get me wrong. I love my body pump classes, but dude, my boy Ferraro basically built a dank gym in his garage, just freaking throwing around dumbbells, dude, sending my bros videos of lifting and stuff. My buddies will zoom in. I'll watch my bro lift in New York. So just like realizing and honestly, Call of Duty, sorry to double down on that, but just like the way technology can be used, like something that's separated us. Like think about the iPhone, the iPod, me, I. But dude, a lot of this stuff now is we, bro. It's freaking Zooming, connecting us together, freaking being dank, staying in touch with my boys, dude. Freaking just, yeah, it's freaking chill, dude. Honestly, dude, I'll even try to tell my GF, dude, and sorry to get a little blue here, but I'll be like, dude, you want to freaking just cyber right now? You know? Old ham style. I text her, dude, let's cyber. She's like, I'm in the kitchen, you're in the living room. I'm like, yeah, dude, I get it, but let's cyber. So.
Did that ever last more than a few sentences?
No, dude.
All right.
0%. Aaron, what do you think about 2020, dude?
I mean, definitely COVID is going to be what we're remembered for, and I will, of course, remember for our baby. So.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Hell yes, dude. That's from Calvin. Thank you, Calvin, dude. All right, Anonymous here. We got a correction. At around 5 minutes into the Mencius episode, you mentioned Gustav Klimt when I think you meant to say Edvard Munch. Klimt was a chiller who wore robes and loved the ladies and cats. Also, what do you think Diogenes masturbating in public instead of the drill factory? Dude, Diogenes, I think he's like a Greek dude who was just all about into like just impulse and stuff and like following that to limit things. And I think I'm all for him drilling himself. I love that, you know. In a public setting, you know, you're creating some collateral damage there. This is in ancient Greece, so maybe it's chill, but yeah, Diogenes, I mean, I would say I'm 50-50 on it, you know. I mean, I'd say generally an outdoor setting is nice, but something that's, you know, not in view of kids or whatever, and probably, you know, passerbyers don't necessarily want to see that. So, yeah, but I'm fired up he's getting his rocks off.
They're wearing togas or something, but still, it's obvious. Everyone knows what you're doing.
Yeah, and it's like we're hearing about it today, so it bothered someone. Or it got someone so stoked that they're like, dude, Diogenes, you see this guy, dude? Guy's incredible with his equipment, dude. Guy's got a grip like I've never even seen, dude. It's freaking, like, straight up, Mr. Clean's not even invented yet, but you know that jacked arm for that freaking baking soda stuff or whatever, dude? Guy's Mr. Cleaning his knob, dude, over there in the freaking, next to the, you know, the forum or the atrium or whatever, dude. Just freaking nutting on a fresco. Dude,
yeah, I'm gonna go up to the Parthenon and drill myself.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly, dude. Amazing view up there, dude. Yeah. Take some olive oil, dude, and just go to town. Gustav Klimt. Yeah, I think it was about Edvard Munch did Scream, and Klimt did Kiss, and I think I messed that up. So thank you, my dude. All right, let's do one more here. This is a long one too, so let's see. What up? I humbly write you with hope in my corazon, dude. That's heart, that you can help me. I feel like I currently am in a predicament that only the love guru himself can help guide me through. For sure, dude. What up, dude? Honored. Somewhat recent, I broke up with my GF of 3 years. Now this girl was a total catch, but there were some things that made me hesitant to marry her. So I did the mature thing and broke things off. I didn't want to string her along. One thing that bothered me all throughout us dating was really cool dudes would hit her up and slide into those DMs, and really those were cool dudes. Really, these were cool dudes. MLS players, NFL players, dentists, etc.
Wow.
Amazing, dude. I mean, I don't know if I put dentist on the same scale as MLS player. Maybe MLS, but definitely not NFL player. Unless he's a cool wacko dentist who like makes kids happy by doing funny voices, like a Patch Adams style dentist. I don't know, dude. I'm not hating on dentists. Maybe he plays techno music when he puts those shades on to relax you, like deep house, like while he's drilling you. You know, I don't know. Anyway, kind of why I broke up with her, because honestly, every day it seemed like a new dude was trying to get with her. 2 things recently have happened that have made me rethink my decision since we have broken up. This girl has been putting in a lot of effort to change what I said. I didn't like, to change what I said I didn't like, which is super sweet and awesome, but also I want to try and date other girls right now since she was my first GF, and I'm scared to marry the first girl I ever really date. But here's the thing. I also can't find any other girls to date. I never felt so ill-favored in my life. I will swipe on so many ladies, and when I'm on dating apps, and will never get a match. And when I do, I mean, no offense to the guys who like girls with a bit more cushion for the cushion for the pushing, but I can seem to match with anyone on a dating apps who weigh less than me. This sounds really shallow, but I also just know I live in a different lifestyle than most of them and would rather go for a run than watch a movie in conjunction with that. Or definitely a little harsh here. Sorry. Okay, let's see. My stoke levels recently got knocked big time because I was signed up for a 50K race this past week, but it got canceled due to the panty we were in. I was going to be my first one, and now I'm sad because I'm a single dope with no upcoming races to motivate me. Help me, Bino, Stridebone, you're my only hope. Sorry about this email being longer than the script of Braveheart, but if you could sprinkle some of your guru glitter on it and some insight would possibly lead to a paradigm shift, I'd be stoked out of my dome. Yeah, dude. He wants to remain anonymous. He said, give me a cool name like Blade or Dave. That's hilarious, dude.
How about Blader Dave?
Blader Dave. Yeah, dude, Blader Dave. All right, dude. Blader Dave, listen, bro.
That also sounds like something you'd say goodbye. Like, Blader Dave.
Blader, dude. Blader. That's how butchers say bye to each other at the end of a shift. Yeah. Blader. I mean, dude, this guy, he wrote it in the email. He's thinking about it, but I'm like, he's having a lot of thoughts in his dome. He's talking about running. He's talking about, he's getting matched up with girls that he doesn't necessarily think are cute. I mean, that's sort of, I'm not on the apps, but it's like, seems all pretty much just surface level. You look at a picture and you swipe. I mean, maybe there's basic profile info. I'm not quite sure. Maybe read them more into that. Maybe a girl is into running. She's just, more into sprints or something like that. And, but, everyone's got their preference. But that aside, I mean, as far as breaking things off with his GF, I mean, yeah, I can understand you didn't want to string things along, and it sounded like you were having some trust issues, but it sounds like sounds like she was an attractive girl, and I don't know who these dudes are that are sliding into her DMs or how you found out. Hopefully you weren't snooping. If she's telling you about it, then I don't think it's like anything that you would have to worry about. Like, there's just trust there. So basically it just comes down to you want to trust this girl, and it sounds like she wants to switch stuff, and I don't know if like she's like really reaching out or like DMing these players first or what the deal is, but it's like, dude, you just gotta have that conversation. It sounds like you told her what bothered you. If you want to get back with her, I would say do it because you want to, not because you're like not able to get with someone else. Like, that's where it was a hang up for me, was like, she's cool, I want to get back with her, but like I really want to date other girls right now and find out. I mean, I do understand the impulse of not wanting to ask yourself down the road, what if, but I would just say, dude, maybe right now just try to date a little bit. And it's tough during the pandemic. You do risk losing this girl who sounds like she was great. And I mean, you were 3 years in. Maybe if she was ready to get married, I don't think she's going to go mess around with like a freaking dentist who plays in a indoor kickball soccer league. I mean, I don't know, dude. But, you got to value you a little more. Sounds like maybe you were not realizing the sickness you were bringing to the table of being, 50K runs. And dude, a relationship, it ain't a 5K, baby. It's a 500K, dude. It's a 5,000K, bro. Every day you're making that commitment, and you just gotta, some days are going to be better than others, and you just freaking know that you have each other's backs, and you got to have those healthy conversations, and if something's bothering you, talk about it a little bit. So, but right now it sounds like, I would not get back with someone because you're like, oh, I wasn't able to just get with anyone else. I'm not saying like you should just get with someone and not like it and then get back with her. I think you got to set a boundary for yourself and be like, I'm either not going to pursue these other girls and try to get back with the girl I want to be with, or let her go live her life and stick true to why you broke it off in the first place, which was to let her, and it's not like you let her, but you would be stringing her along and doing her a disservice by keep dating her. But what do you think, Aaron?
I mean, there's got to be some other reason he broke up with her than just that other guys want to fuck her. Like, that's
totally,
like, it's not the mailman's fault the dogs want to bite her.
Exactly, dude. 100%.
It's got to be something more than that.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then that's why you broke up. Like,
yeah,
you don't want to spend the rest of, like, let's say you get back with her, and then you spend the rest of your life keeping an eye on whether she's changed. It's just like, you don't need to do that. Like, move on. Like, and I don't know, man. Be open to some possibilities. Some ladies out there, they might surprise you. Like,
that's
you said.
what I'm saying. And maybe this guy's got a thing going where it's like, all right, if NFL players and MLS players are sliding into her DMs, I would guess she's probably an attractive girl.
Yeah.
And then he mentioned that there was girls that he was matching with that were unattractive. I would say, dude, you need to meet a girl who the leading thing that you like about her isn't her looks.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, obviously we're humans. Looks matter to us. But it's like, there's things that matter to me first about my GF that are very attractive to her. You want to be with someone who way down the line, when you're old, you're going to want to be looking forward to having a conversation with when you're old, because your boning is probably going to go down. Even though I do hear old people bone quite a bit, which is tight. I'll find out about that. But you're going to want to be with someone, and I say conversational, someone who has shared interests in you. And you did mention that with the running and stuff, but it sounds like that and this is based on one email, and I'm not pigeonholing you, but yeah, you got to take some dates, get to know someone. And I think maybe you dated this girl for 3 years, but it sounds like you're a young guy and horniness is powerful. You'd be surprised. That can probably power you through 3 years of a relationship, of overlooking a lot of things. If you're like, but she's so hot, dude, she's so hot. Yeah, dude, she never wants to get Thanksgiving, dude. She's not met my parents, dude. Honestly, dude, she hangs up on me a lot on the phone, and she hasn't texted me back in 2 weeks, but like, we're dating, dude, but like, she's so hot, dude. Oh, dude, oh. That's how you're talking about your girlfriend that's chill in the beginning. It's like, hell yeah. But then you gotta be talking about your girlfriend like, dude, she's just rad, bro. Like, freaking, dude, we were just crashing at my freaking dad's house. My dad's, his house isn't that comfortable, but dude, she freaking just, dude, she was a chiller the whole time, had my back, dude. She even told my dad, what up, dude, when he tried to just disrespect me by telling a self-deprecating story, not self-deprecating story, but, story about me when I was being a schmoll. And then my GF saw it in a new light and even shifted my dad's perspective. And it's like, dude, that's tight, dude. Or just being like, dude, my GF, dude, she borrowed one of my flannels, dude. It was so sick. I love that. So, and she looked freaking cute in it, dude. She looked like a bunny in it, dude. So, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, dude. There's indicators. Be aware, dude. Integrity and self-introspection. Big stuff. Big stuff. Tough to do. Skill. But that's what I would say to my dog, Blader, dude. But you sound like you're a chiller, dude. You're going through a tough time. You just watch Braveheart, dude, and do what William Wallace does. He's an unflawed character. Dude, that's about it, man. Fired up, dude. Aaron, thank you, dude. You're a freaking beast on the sticks. Fired up for you. Fired up for fantasy football when this episode comes out. I'm either going to be, honestly, I'm going to say it. I'm admitting now, probably sad. I don't know if I'm getting to the playoffs, but there's hope. And I'm setting my lineup every week because I have honor, and I'm trying my hardest, and I'm working the waiver wire to get there. Write me in with corrections or thoughts. Let me know how your fantasy team does, or if you got any tips or advice. StriderWilsonShreds@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much, and just freaking stay stoked, dude, and pick up a freaking dank wine, dude. All right, lit.